What's happening, y'all? Welcome back. We are live. This is Creatia Conversation. I am your host, Lord Cussalott Travis
Creatia
Pointer.
Comics
What did I say?
conversation.
Shit. Yeah.
Yes.
Creatia Comics. Good Lord. You tell I need some sleep. I am your host, Lord Cussalott Travis Pointer, aka the Dragon King, aka Big T, aka T Money, aka Sweet T, aka Black Merlin, aka the HNIC. And I'm joined as always by my co-host Mara the Shark Watkins.
Hi.
How are you this lovely afternoon, Mara?
I am good.
Glad to hear
I
it.
got more
Glad to
coffee
hear it.
today.
Okay. Good.
Yeah. I was out
Um,
and I know Luna could visibly see the stress on my face when she saw me put together that I could not make a cup of coffee before we headed out this morning.
mm, I see. Yeah, I assume being able to, have your coffee is helpful. I'm
Do
not
I
a
really
coffee
like
drinker, but I've
coffee?
but I've heard.
It's weird. I used to not be um a big coffee drinker. But then all of a sudden during the pandemic, I think I just started drinking it out of the blue and then I just stuck with it.
Mm. Yeah, see, I don't drink it at all. Like I've had it before, and I was like, nah, I moved on. Then I tried to get it some point, and I was just like, yeah, still nah. It's just like this ain't for me.
I've just found a way to make it sweet, light and sweet enough that it works for me.
Yeah, see, if I got to do all that, it's just nah. I'll drink tea. Anyway, we are not here to discuss our warm beverage habits. We are here to talk comic book shows here. That's what we do at Creatia Conversation, formerly Super Flashy Arrow of Tomorrow. We got a couple things to go through here. We got, the season premiere of Doom Patrol, and we have the series finale of Stargirl.
Mhm.
So, with that being said, let's get into that.
Let's do it.
You could have changed that yourself, by the way.
I don't
Like,
know how to do
yeah,
it. It's like I'm not sure what to do.
yeah. It's right there. You can just over there under background. Just psh, the layouts are
God,
there. Yeah,
I will eventually be 1,000% acclimated with this thing, but sadly, will not be today either. So,
Anyway, let's talk about these shows, shall we? Shall we? That's the word I'm saying. Shall, not Sal. Okay.
I hope after this you get some sleep.
So do I. Anyway, where would you like to start?
Let's start with the Stargirl finale. I mean, it's kind of crazy. This episode is really just about finales and premieres.
Yeah. And
Because
if you
we'll
want, we can
also
kind of
touch
touch on. Yeah, we can about to say we can also touch on the Titans mid-season finale if you want there too.
easy. We got Brother Blood.
Yeah, that's about it. Brother Blood has arrived. It
every
took a.
every
It all was leading to that.
everything
All
they
right.
did,
Yeah.
everything they did just led to us getting Brother Blood anyway. So that's your recap for
Mhm.
Titans, because we had been gone for a couple of weeks due to Thanksgiving. So I hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving as well.
Mhm.
And also just personal traveling.
Yeah. I relocated. I'm now all the way out east now. You know,
Wait, are we the same time zone now?
I was waiting for you to realize that. Yes.
I would do a fucking laugh if I could. I
Really?
just put two and two together. Oh my god, we're in the same time zone. This is good. We're this much closer to actually finally having a an actual in-person Creatia comics or Creatia something. This much closer.
This much.
Because
Was
yes, to
talking
get
to
to you,
John
it
about
is
that too.
still.
John's probably
It's,
like only a few hours away from me now too, so he's just like, yeah.
oh, that must be awesome.
We'll see what happens with that though. Not sure when, but
Yeah, I mean, it'll be a lot easier for y'all to conjoin than it is for me.
I mean,
And
you guys
after
can.
driving to and from Virginia over Thanksgiving, I
That's
know the
just a
drive to
little bit
Georgia.
further. Just 2 more states.
Just two more states to get through. Also, be mindful of where you're driving at what hours. I don't know.
Just saying.
I feel like driving to you at some degree. I'd have to be mindful of a sundown area. So
Yeah, if you're going through North and South Carolina, you might want to be aware of sundown towns. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's
might
technically
stop
not
by.
legal anymore, but you know, it's
I know they still exist though. They still
North, North,
exist in New York too.
North and South Carolina is not. You know, I understand. I get it.
They still exist in some parts. I think of New York as well. I've heard. I don't know. I
I
have to
don't
look
know.
into further into that again. But either
Or you can
way,
just, or you can just hop on a train. Just hop on this
yeah,
metro.
yeah, yeah. I'd probably fly.
I don't know. I like trains. So
I like Amtrak, but they're expensive.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
Amtrak is
one
what I meant.
day,
Why did I say metro? Like that would only take you like up the street.
it's a metro train. It's a mass transit.
Yeah, I know, but metro is more for local thing. Amtrak is one you travel all over the country
This is true.
with. Again, eventually my brain will start functioning properly again. You know,
Maybe next week.
maybe. I doubt it, but we'll see. Um, Stargirl. That's what we were about to talk about, right? Yeah,
Yes, because we touched on Titans already.
yeah. We like Titans happened. Boom. Okay. Yeah. Stargirl series finale. This is it. Done. Finito. Kaput. What was this episode called?
Chapter 13, Frenemies, Chapter 13, The Reckoning.
It's a
I
reckoning.
hated 2/3 of this episode.
Was it like the last 2/3?
No, the first 2/3.
Hmm. I didn't hate the
Well,
whole first 2/3.
yeah, I mean, like I guess the beginning of finding out, like as them kind of like breaking it down and revealing some stuff. Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that was bad. I just feel like everything when it got to present time after then, I was like, this is annoying.
It felt kind of rushed, but also the thing
It was.
is, yeah, I actually liked last week's episode, and I'm just like, this is interesting now. Oh, this is cool. Okay, this is interesting. Problem is, y'all took too long to get interesting. Like it was
Yeah.
just the whole Sylvester reveal thing last week was pretty cool. I'm like, okay.
Yes. Revealing that Sylvester has actually been just has been hosting the brain of the Ultra Humanite this whole time. It was just like
Yeah, and it made
the
everything
whole
make
four
sense.
fourths. Yes, the whole 4/4, the whole thing rushed.
Yeah, it was. But yeah, so this episode kicks off 9 months ago. Do I sound okay, by the way? Because everything's positioned weird, so you can hear me
You
clearly.
sound so clear.
Okay, good.
Do I sound
Uh,
good?
you do.
Thank you.
Just have this makeshift setup happening here, so if you could see
It's
how
all
I
right.
was holding this all together, I'm gonna take a picture after we're done and show you like how I have this all set up right now, and it's not a view. I'm
So
talking
don't
about of me in this.
uh, so don't pose.
Not right now.
Okay.
Anyway, 9 months
9
ago,
months ago,
yeah, we
a
got
whole
Dragon
baby,
King. It is. That's a whole baby ago, whole gestation period. Um,
and not one new life was introduced in this show. Only lives were taken. Do you realize that?
well, we don't know that for sure because those
Nothing
episodes,
was introduced.
those folks at the end that were in like the little exhibit hall area, one of them might have been born within the last 10 years. Because that was 10 years in the future. So
This is true because I
one
want
of
to
them
look
might
up
have been
all.
like 6 or 7 years old.
I got all their names, and I'm going to look all of them up.
Oh, you talking about the heroes?
Yes.
Oh, I'm talking about just the random people that were on the tour.
Oh, I'm just saying.
Now the heroes, who knows? Who knows? I assume they're all older than 10 years old, but But anyway, we'll get to that. 9 months ago is where we were. Dragon King and Icicle are digging up Sylvester's body. It took us 11 minutes to start talking about this show. Um, but they're
That
digging
sounds
up Sylvester's body. Um, and
horrible.
at this point, they wake him up, and it actually is Starman right now. Like it's not the inhabited ultra humanite dude. And the hell was that?
Pop ups.
Ah,
Don't
okay.
worry. I got rid of it.
About to say, kill them all, kill them all.
The bots.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah.
Desecrating
So
a course.
yeah, it was actually him. And they're like, yeah, we're going to take your brain out, and we're gonna put Ultra Humanite's brain in there, and I'm gonna take the body that Ultra Humanite was in because
They
why
play in
not?
magical bodies. Cause
Yeah,
he want cause he's looking for something uh different, I think he said, like something new or whatever. Something greater.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Because reasons. Eh,
Talk about a nigga who's never satisfied.
ever. But anyway, so they go on, they're gonna remove his brain. And I'm like, okay. And here comes the buzzsaw. I'm like, you leaving him conscious while you slicing his brain out? Like,
They're villains. Did you
the
really think
fuck?
they were like, oh, let's just make it easier?
But you would
And
think like the mental trauma and all that kind of stuff will cause damage to the body itself. It might cause the body to actually die because you chopping this thing up while he's awake. Like you gotta like make sure his body doesn't actually respond to what you're doing. So you might want to knock him out first.
true. I mean, I'm sure
I'm no
Dragon King
doctor. I'm no
also.
scientist, when it comes to these kinds of things. But I feel like, that's all connected. I'm sorry. Did I cut you off?
No. Honestly, I just feel like Dragon King off screen probably accounted for all of this. Probably in that green fucking serum that they injected in him, probably only woke his like brain up and was like, yeah, it's gonna come out.
I guess.
I don't know. I'm just thinking of things.
I know. I hear
Cause
you.
when
It's
because when they were
what?
talking about like their plan, I was just like, are they just gonna throw his brain in the trash? Like, what do you do with it after that? Like, well, I
I
mean, you see
feel
at the
like
end,
most
but
villains would, but Dragon King wouldn't, which we saw later on. He kept the brain. Like it's
he did
just
that.
Dragon King would want to keep it and experiment on it and shit. So when they did that, I'm like, oh, what did they do with it? Where did they put it? Because it's still there. But yeah, so that was that whole thing. They showed what happened. So back in the present day, we got Ultra Humanite, or who I'm calling Sylvester Humanite. Um,
Oh, I kept
walk.
putting him in quotes star man.
Yeah. So he
Sylvester's a lot to type out.
yeah, I guess. I take notes on my phone, so the whole little swipe thing, it knows what I'm
Same.
saying already. So I just gotta like kind of go in the right direction. My phone knows what I'm talking about, which is both great and scary. But
Oh no, I do it old fashioned. I type it on my typewriter, my computer.
mm, Yeah, not me.
I'm
So
destined for arthritis.
so yeah, we got
Alley oop the brain. Right. Just a quick layup, real quick,
yeah,
between Dragon
into that
King
little
and
into that jug of water they got over there. They were keeping it here. Just,
like Dragon King get it, and he like dunks it after like Icicle like shoots it up.
mhm. You see him on the side running up. He does that point of like, throw it up. And yeah. So yeah. So also it's yeah, he's walking away from right after he buried Pat, and yeah, that happened. But then
Saying bye.
mhm. Then we got the team. You know, they're trying to piece together why Sylvester's being essentially just fucked up because they
Not
don't know.
helpful.
Yeah, they don't know it's not it. Well, the opposite of helpful, actually, like harmful. Like
Yeah, like giving
the
them
whole thing.
bad
He
direction and advice.
yeah, telling Rick to turn the limiter off, even though he knew what it would do to him. Telling Beth to like keep her parents away from it, which honestly I still kind of agree with anyway. But
Yeah.
um,
Like
whatever.
like I
Okay.
yeah, whatever, it's your lives.
Hmm. And the whole him keeping the press, keeping Yolanda not trusting Cindy thing. That's one of those things that can go either way because I saw both sides of that shit. Um,
Yeah, it's just like how long you gonna hold this high school grudge to her in real life settings versus like
well, it wasn't that. There was also the fact that she tried to kill them at one point too. So,
no, I know. But I feel like Yolanda's always stemmed back to like always stems from that.
oh yeah, it's also yeah, it's definitely rooted in the whole leaking her nudes thing. But yeah, let's see. Okay, so yeah, then we got Jordan. He's talking to Cameron and tells him that Pat was killed by the Ultra Humanite, and I'm like, well,
Lying.
technically he didn't lie. Mm, technically it was Ultra Humanite that did it. Like he,
That would be what Jordan would say in court too.
mhm.
Technically, his brain is in that body, so
Yeah, he was in control, so he did it. Yeah, Ultra Humanite killed Pat. um, but Pat somehow digs his way out
because of
because of the rain.
the rain rebirthed him.
Well, he said
Oh,
this whole thing. He learned how to dislodge his thumbs from Sylvester and shit, and
well,
that's
that
what he
too.
was
I
able to
mean,
get the
like,
strength out. But my thing was, how are you able to dig your way out? Because that shit's heavy. Like it's not even like
well, I think that I thought that was the. I mean, well, maybe that logic's not right either. Because I was going to say they did show that it was raining over where, or it was like water, but that was like that would turn into mud, which would make
yeah,
that even
make
heavier.
it even heavier and harder to dig through. Exactly. Like they explained how he was able to get his hands loose from the restraints, but that doesn't mean you're able to dig yourself out from underneath the ground like that. Like I
Mm.
don't know how that happened. Like
Stripe
you,
C's actual superpower is his ability just to survive crazy
yeah,
kidnappings.
somehow, just always somehow still alive. Like he just, I don't know. That whole part was just like, I'm not okay. I'll just let you have it. It's the finale,
Let
whatever.
let them have it.
But yeah, he digs himself out. Then we
And
got.
then
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Cameron called Courtney to tell them that Starman was at the junkyard if they were looking for him, which is a lie.
Again, depends on how you look at it. His body's there.
I guess. Can I just touch on Cameron for a second? Because
Touch
I don't know.
whatever you
I don't.
want. It's all whatever you touch in that room belongs to you. So whatever
I'm
you want to
dead.
do, it's up to you.
So
You're allowed.
like, I don't know if
Leave.
we've ever talked about it before because I don't really fully remember. Because once we stop talking about one episode, I kind of just it erases from my hard drive. Um, uh, have we ever talked about like the guy who plays Cameron on how shitty he performs?
We probably have. I don't
Okay.
remember, but yeah, I'm not a
I
fan of his either.
Yeah, I don't know. Every time it feels like he needs to express an emotion while he's speaking. It's almost like he gets ready to try to and then he doesn't.
To me, it feels like he's trying to do a voice when he's talking. Like he's trying to make his voice sound different when he talks for some reason. That's just how it comes off to me.
Where is he
Um,
from? I know you don't know off the top of your head. I mean, like I'm just thinking out loud. Where is he from? Maybe
Probably
he
not
does.
Atlanta.
I'd be very. I think it's very safe to say that. I'm curious to know where he's from. If he's from somewhere where he has an accent and he hasn't really narrowed down how to
Hasn't
control it.
nailed his American accent yet? Yeah, maybe.
Cause that I was just like, cause there was at one point where he was like telling Courtney that he was sorry about, you know, what has happened to Pat. And I was just like,
Yeah, his face never changes. You're right. Now that I think about
his
him,
face never changed, his tone never changed. I was like, this sounds fake. And you just said I hate lying to her. It really just feels like you do it naturally.
just not very well.
He was born in Missouri. So even more so, I'm now more upset.
Yeah, there's no excuse now. Like you from the Midwest, you
I
supposed
would
to have
have,
that basic Midwest accent. Like what's
right.
going on?
If you told me he was from like fucking New Zealand and he's only been in the States and acting for like since he got casted in Stargirl in 2020, then yeah, I would probably believe
Yeah,
like, okay, they
even
just
if you threw Canadian at me, because they got words they say weird. So if he's consciously trying not to say the words the Canadian way, I could see that too. You know,
yeah.
but like, yeah, he's from Missouri. Come on, man, do better.
Hunter, you could
Oh,
you
that his
need
name,
him.
Hunter.
Yeah.
Mm.
But yeah, I needed to point that
His
out
last
because I literally said
name
I
is
huh?
nothing.
I was just like, I really hate the way this guy acts. It really like it's really I'm just seeing it.
Well, lucky for you, you
I
don't
won't
have
have
to
to
see it
see
anymore.
it. It only took 3 seasons for me to see it.
Except for that crossover. Hopefully, he's not in that.
Yeah, whenever that happens,
Yeah, I have
because
no idea when that's actually happening. It might be like at the. I want to guess it'll be like at the mid-season point for Doom Patrol, but who knows?
I'm hoping so. With the thing of the brains and and all that
But
shit, butts like
that show's so fucking weird. But we'll get to it.
yeah.
um. Anyway, yeah. So Cindy, Mike, and Jakeem, they're all running from Dragon King in the ape body, Dragon Ape.
I
Yeah,
said monkey body.
yeah.
Is it a monkey or
Um.
an ape?
They said an albino ape is what they called it.
Okay, because there's a
It's,
difference.
there is. As I said
So
in Planet of the Apes, they're like monkeys are lower on the evolutionary ladder, just above humans, is what they said. At least that's what the apes said. But
could you imagine being read for filth by an ape like that? Like in your own language?
Mhm, mhm. Yeah, yeah,
um yeah, the team gets to the junkyard and they're approached by the united front of the grandparents and Icicle and Starman and Cameron. And this is when that whole I'm sorry about Pat, Courtney,
yeah,
but
yeah. And then Pat shows up after
Pat's like,
Sylvester's trying to convince them that everything, is just like, no, dude, we got to keep with the blood. Like, no, you're a fucking liar.
right? Because you can even see on Courtney's face, like as Starman, air quotes for those who are listening, um, is saying what occurred and that Pat just walked off into the woods by himself, unarmed or anything, to go after Ultra Humanite himself. You can see Courtney's face being like,
Like,
that doesn't even remotely sound like Pat.
it's
Like
like the
the
exact opposite of what he always does. If anything, Pat over prepares for everything. Like, there's no way he just runs off on his own.
Pat would have sooner gone back to the auto shop to then sit, debrief, think about it, have a sandwich, think about it some more, consult with Barbara, tell Courtney what he thinks they should do, and then go back with everyone.
And then by the time he does all that, the Ultra Humanite is taking over the world. So it's
Right.
just like
So it's just like, no, that would have never occurred. And then Pat shows up and is just like, yeah, that's not Starman, that or Sylvester. That's actually Ultra Humanite. And then he has a tantrum.
he does. Like,
Because he was just like,
sir,
why
are you
won't
12?
you just die? Really? He just like went off, and it was just like, dang, dude, way to break character 30 seconds in.
Yeah, he literally went to sounding like a 12-year-old playing Call of Duty. Like, just so upset. Like, I killed him. Yeah.
Right. All it was missing was swearing and maybe an obscene use of the N-word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's see. Then we got, Dragon King in the ape body, going up against Cindy because she's like, let's rumble. And
Let's get this.
so they got the rumbling and the humbugging. And let's see, then we got Pat fighting Sylvester Humanite in this little in the robo suit.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that back and forth. Then he eventually breaks the suit, of course, because why wouldn't he?
Because he was like, fuck this.
Then we got the rest of the JSA fighting the Ice family all at the same time. Except when Beth comes face to face with Ice Grandpappy and she's like, yo, I
His
don't
name
fight.
is Sophus.
Hmm?
Sophus.
I like Ice Grandpappy.
Okay. I like to humanize him just a little bit because
he's the one with some sense. You're right.
Yeah, he was just like, when Beth detected that there was hesitancy because he's like holding his two up, one with like generating some ice, and she was just like, Mr. McCann, I really don't want to fight you again. And he was just like, he looked so relieved. He was like, oh, thank fuck. I don't either. Like, you could see the stress come off of his face.
I mean,
like, oh, thank God.
And other like shit. Like he's been over all this for a while. Like it's just like
he was like, thank whatever Norse god they prayed to. He was like, thank Odin. Yeah. I did not want to do this either. He was like, please help me talk some sense into them. And then Nana Ice came over.
Yeah, was somehow Ice Grandy drops a car on herself.
Cause she shot at Yolanda with ice as she was about to kill them. Cause she told Grandpappy, she was just like, if you don't kill this girl, I will kill you. And he's looking at her like, really? After everything we've been through, that's what it's coming down to? That's crazy. Yeah. And so then she was about to shoot at them, and Yolanda was trying to, I think, deflect it or whatever.
Yeah, and exactly. That's what I mean. Like that whole sequence, like I'm not sure exactly what happened there. Like
yeah,
she jumped in the air.
She jumped in the air, and so she shot at Yolanda instead, but it missed her and it hit a car that was hanging over the top.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure what was Yolanda jumping toward.
I don't know if she was jumping to like distract or jumping because she thought she was going to get in the way. Who knows? But she did it, and then fucking she was like, and then Nana got crushed by this car, and she was like, I didn't do it. And I was like, I know you didn't. Like anyone with common sense could see that you didn't do that.
Yeah, but we've already, established the fact that the Icicle family is not exactly rational. So
this is true. But yeah, so Grandma's dead.
Yeah.
Sophus deserves better.
Yeah. And then, the Dragon King and Cindy fights happening, and Jakeem is just like, you know what? No, this is my pen. I'm in charge. I'm going to make my wish be clear, and it is my wish. I wish that the most beautiful woman in the world didn't have to worry about her father anymore. Blah blah blah.
And Mike was just like, that could literally be anybody.
But he's like, Jakeem, no, not, because I know what I mean, and I said it exactly the way that I mean, and I put my intentions behind it, kind of thing. When you really like how you like truly master this thing.
He mastered his power.
Yeah.
So cute to watch them.
It's being
grow into
intentional.
themselves.
It's like I'm trying to think of a good example. It's like a magic thing and different stuff. Did you ever see saw that
Manifesting?
movie? No, you ever see the movie Aragon back in the day?
No.
Okay. Well, that series as a whole.
Such a Christmas classic. Grandma got run over by a reindeer vehicle.
But in that whole thing, the way they talk about magic is like there's certain words you learn to do the magic, but it's really because the words give shape to your intentions.
Hmm.
Um, but if you can really be true about your intentions, you can cast the magic without saying any words. It's kind of the same thing here where like he really knows what his intentions are, and because of that he has true control over the power. Like with the magic thing, if you don't really have control of what you're saying and your thoughts go awry or something goes weird, the magic goes awry and things don't go well. So
Sounds like Doctor Strange.
yeah, same concept here where it's just like you know being very clear about your intentions, at least to yourself. Like you know exactly what you're trying to do and you're intentional about
Well, it was great.
it. But then randomly Barbara's there because
She needed retribution for her friend.
did she get it though? Like
She got her shot off.
she just kind of like hit him in the shoulder. Like
Look, I would say for Barbara, who really was just trying to be in Blue Valley to just raise her daughter and work a job with her husband and his son, and then gets tied up into all this superhero stuff, I would say she did 110% of what she needed to do.
I don't know. I just firmly believe that both her and Mike need to sit their asses down at home.
Probably, but she gave her contribution and that was more than enough.
I guess. Um.
She shot him with an arrow in the shoulder as Jordan was about to, ice up Courtney again.
Yeah. Then Cameron steps in, so now Cameron's fighting Jordan. Not to
When
be
the fuck did
confused with
Cameron
Cameron Jordan or Jordan Cameron, the football players. But
when the fuck did Cameron all of a sudden know martial arts? Because he was back there flipping around and
he was
kicking
doing
in.
a whole and dipping, yeah.
Like, I was like, I know I'm not the only person who noticed that shit. I was just like, when did that occur? When did that skill come through?
Final big fight of the season. I just accepted the stuff. Like it's if I can accept Barbara showing up with the crossbow for no reason, I'll accept this ninja shit from Cameron.
Is that his level up once he got ice powers?
Yeah, maybe once you get ice powers, you automatically know like
How to fight?
basic martial arts and like more than basic gymnastics. It comes with the ice powers.
I guess. Like if it was Courtney, I'd understand. But him, I
Well,
was just
Courtney
like
trained. Like it was.
that too. I mean, she also had the gymnastics background from the
Oh
beginning.
yeah, that too. Mm-hmm.
That's what I was referring to. When you said
Gotcha.
gymnastics, that's what it made me think of.
I forgot all
But
about
yeah,
that shit.
so can't. Every time I see her do some crazy, they have her do some crazy outlandish backflip or some shit. I'm just like, and there goes them bringing that back around.
Speaking of Courtney, though, they did the thing that I don't like, Mara, in a different form, but they did the thing.
Care Bear?
Yes. It's like Courtney lost the staff, and Ultra Humanite is able to wield the staff because she didn't believe. And she can get the staff back and away from Ultra Humanite if she just truly believes. That's it. Just all of a sudden truly believe something that I guess you didn't really believe before. But right here in this moment, now you can truly
Now she's
believe.
she's intentional on that belief.
I guess so. I guess that's what happened there. I don't know. I don't know what really changed and made her truly believe now as opposed to before. I don't know. Other than her knowing that that's not actually Sylvester, that's the Ultra Humanite, so he's full of shit. But like the seeds of doubt he planted on her were, based in real shit. So like,
Based on just shit that he observed.
yeah, so all that's gone just right now, just okay. But she gets the staff back because she had to.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's how the show had to end.
Yeah.
Imagine if the show ended with her out without the staff.
Yeah.
That'd been crazy.
But yeah, now it's just a straight up fight with Pat versus Sylvester Humanite. And naturally, the bigger, stronger dude is whooping his ass. Um, so that's the thing. The bigger, stronger dude with actual like fight training and all that kind of shit is winning the fight. Who'd have thought? Who'd have thought?
Not I. No plot points
Yeah.
there.
So then, oh yeah, so that other stuff with Jordan and Cameron's continuing. And Jordan is just like, yeah, don't make me do to you what Brainwave did to his son. And it's just like, yo,
And
damn,
that pissed
really?
off Courtney. Courtney was like,
Really?
the fact that you would even go there.
Yeah, like, damn, bruh. Like, I
That's
don't think that was
crazy.
necessary.
I was like, that's wild.
Or even
But
saying it that way was the thing. Like, like he could have just said, don't make me kill you. But like,
right? Because now you saying that like Brainwave did all this for the cause too.
or anything. Like, it's bringing it up in that context was just what had me just like, wow, okay.
Like, damn, we really said we were coming full circle with stuff.
Yeah. But yeah, Courtney steps in to like, he said it pissed her off. And so we got Courtney versus Icicle, but then Cameron's the one that actually like takes Jordan out. He doesn't kill him, but does some crazy shit like a face in the ice clouds, and they take off into the air, and then he was back. And I don't know. But yeah.
Ice stuff.
Yeah, ice stuff happened. That's just all I can really say about that because I'm still not quite sure what transpired.
Me neither. All I know is that it just became really, really icy and cloudy, and then he was in the sky. And I was like, did he just get away?
I don't know.
I was like, is that what I just watched happen? Did I just watch him dust away?
Yeah.
But yeah, so and then Cameron tells Courtney to stay back while he lists all the woes that have occurred to him since, I guess, meeting her. His grandmother's dead. His grandfather needs medical attention. His father is a criminal and a murderer. And he's just like, I just want to get out of here. And I was like, those are very valid reasons to stay away. You are still very weird about how you deal with things.
Very.
Because he said that shit like exasperated, like as if like this. I mean, all this really transpired in a matter of like a week, but
I mean, that's a lot for a week.
I guess.
I mean, you got to think back, like all the things that went down. Like, his father came back from the dead. Like, he had some crazy shit happening. Like, the ice powers were coming out. Found out, that Courtney was Stargirl. And then found out that, her little brother killed his dad in the first place. And then there was a whole huge ass like brawl in his house. Like it was a whole lot happened to this kid. So
I think I'm trying to be sensitive to it, but I think at the same time I'm not sympathetic on it. I think because they made him relatively like someone of importance to Courtney, the first season. And then the second season, they kind of dialed him back by just kind of like secluding him off as his powers were coming in. I just felt like they made him really not significant in the second season that like when it comes around to trying to bring him more back into the fold this season, I was like, I don't care about this kid anymore. I thought we moved on from the McKents.
Unfortunately, we did not.
We did not, but like I think that on top of his emotionless acting, it's just like, you want me to be sympathetic, and I'm not even sure if you're really affected by this right now, kid. Like, like this to me just seems like the equivalent, like an equivalent inconvenience as like my train stopping in the middle of a station. Like that's how I take this to him.
Wow.
I'm sorry. I don't know. I'm not good on our characters, you know that.
But let's see.
But then yeah, then him and his grandfather also dust away after that.
Yeah, they take off. But yeah, then later on we got Pat talking to Courtney. Tells her about his little trick that he learned from Sylvester about the, you know, dislodging his thumbs shit and all that.
When he was taken by Dr. Weird.
With two E's.
Yeah, WEERD.
Yeah. Then also at this time, Rick is apologizing to Beth's family. And Beth also apologizes to her parents, and they get all excited about being her sidekicks.
Can I just say that when Beth stood up next to Rick and then hearing how their relationship progressed later on, when she stood up next to him to talk to her parents, I was just like, they would be cute together. I was like, that would work. That would definitely work. And then to hear that they were getting married, and I was like, I knew
it. Yeah.
I knew. I don't know. I thought when she was gonna stand up, I thought she was gonna say something along the lines of, Rick is leaving and I'm going with him. That's what I thought she was going.
You went that far with it. Okay.
I was just like, they would be this I could see happening because of everything that, you know, transpired with them kind of like towards the end of last season and into this one. It felt like a lot of them being there for each other.
Mm-hmm.
And because, you know, like Yolanda treats herself, in my opinion, as like damaged goods, so she never really opened herself up in a way that maybe it could have been Rick and Yolanda, but like Rick was also damaged in his own way that like you could see that was not going to pan out. But seeing him and Beth become more buddy as it came as to be like, Rick is like the dude who's like, I'm gonna take care of my friends, I'm protect y'all and have y'all back and everything. It just felt like that's gonna transpire cute. And it did.
It did. So
now I want to follow up.
I don't.
I want a serious follow.
They'll probably start making do what they did with a lot of Arrowverse stuff and put out comics. Let's see. So yeah, then we cut over to the hospital. They've got Sylvester's body there, but Ultra Humanite's brain is dead, so he's brain dead. And
but his body's fine.
His body's fine, which they made sure to let us know. And Pat also is like, you know, we got to bet that his brain is somewhere. So let's just, you know, keep him on life support for now.
As big as the Earth and shit, I'll even say the universe is, that was such a high gamble to take.
How so?
Because I was like, what if you were searching forever?
So you didn't lose anything.
I know, it's just be searching forever. And it's just like, I don't know.
What else he gonna do?
I don't know. How do they pay for that? I guess I'm just thinking about the logistics. Like, how do they pay for that shit?
It's Starman. I'm sure somebody's covering the bill for him.
I guess. I mean, we do find out that they do eventually succeed because they do eventually bring him back, as they said.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, but then we see, like, you know, in a cave far away, his brain is alive, and hearing a loop recording of, I guess, his last moments, which I think that's crazy. You know what kind of crazy therapy he probably needed when they brought him back?
Well, yeah. I mean, imagine the trauma of dying, like, would
The
also.
the trauma of dying, the trauma of being brought back, the trauma of coming back to find out that you were back originally and someone almost tarnished your reputation, but then also realizing that you've been sitting
About to
listening
say you were
a
brought
death
back the
loop
first time and they took your brain out.
and then
Like,
made you listen to on loop of your last final minutes before they took your brain out. Bruh, the psychological craziness, he belongs on Doom Patrol, which is where I thought they were going to go with that, since we do deal with a lot of brains out of body.
yeah, there's a whole lot of brain things happening on Doom Patrol. Brains and butts is what Doom Patrol is about. All right.
But yeah, so where do we go from there?
Oh,
We get
Pat
him
and Barbara are dropping off Mike at the diner to see his mama.
to meet his birth mother, and he appreciates it. And I'm happy that we closed that storyline very quickly.
Yeah, there was no need to loop on it.
Yeah, it only took 3 seasons to get to.
Hmm. Let's
Um,
see. Speaking of familial meetings.
Courtney goes to see the gambler's daughter. It took me about 2 minutes to understand who she was going to
Yeah,
see.
it took me a second too. I'm like,
I
whose
was
kid
like,
is that? And I'm like, oh, that no gambler's kid. Got it.
because right, I too was like, when she said I knew your dad, I was just like, I thought we swore that Sylvester had no
Didn't
children.
have no kids. Yeah, yeah.
Because I was just like, that's the only person she. And I was like, oh, the gambler. When she pulled out the picture, the note, and I was like,
Yeah, the note is
the
what made
gambler.
me remember then too. Because
The
at first I was
beginning.
with you. I'm like, I know that can't be Sylvester's kid. So whose kid is that? And then it's like, oh, right.
Right, and it you forget that the first few episodes of the season was about this.
Yeah,
13 weeks felt really like the story feels so different how it ended to how
yeah.
it began.
Um, let's see. Oh, we talk about how Mike, saying how he appreciates Pat, like, setting everything up to meet his mother and all that. And he calls Barbara mom, and she cries.
Because now Barbara has 2 kids officially.
Yeah, she starts boohooing. Um, let's see. Then after Courtney's done talking with the gambler's daughter, she walks away. She goes to reach for her little locket thing, and then remembers that it's not there anymore. Like, oh yeah, you gave that back to your no good pappy.
To your piece of shit
Yeah.
father. Um, Rick goes to Grundy's grave and says he misses him, and Grundy comes back to life because the
Hmm.
same rain that rained on Pat clearly rained on Grundy as well. Unless it's been, how long is it till Grundy resurrects?
Supposed to be a week.
Yeah, unless it's been a week since he originally.
Wait, I was like born on a Monday.
Could
Hold
you
on.
imagine the span of when Grundy died in season 2 all the way to the end of now, and imagine it had only been 1 week?
Hold on. Let me. Blah, blah, blah. I just want to read the rhyme. I don't want to read about it. Born on a Monday, christened on Tuesday, married on Wednesday, took ill on Thursday, grew worse on Friday, died on Saturday, buried on Sunday. So would have been died on Saturday, buried on Sunday, born again on Monday.
So was that yeah, like it's a week? Could you imagine if
Life in a
all
week,
that
yeah.
time? Could you imagine if all that time that had passed between that and season 2 and the end of season 3 was only a week? Could you imagine?
Oh man, that'd be hilarious to me.
It would be, but I could also understand why psychologically all of them would be like, I'm exasperated.
Oh yeah, that's just at the end of that. Like if I'm Courtney, I'm gonna just stay in that basement, and This is where I live now. I'm going to sit right here, and
no
that's
more
it.
no more school, no more life,
Yeah,
nothing.
no more any of that. Like nope, done.
It's scary outside.
Indeed.
But Courtney, so then back at the Dugan Whitmore house, that they're having a little get together with the team and the family, and you know, Cindy gave Dragon King as in the ape body as a stuffed animal to the dog, who is now enjoying playing with it. And it's just like,
Apparently ripped an arm off.
yeah, I wonder if he feels that.
That's a good question.
Um, Yolanda calls her mom, and I guess that will eventually get better over time, but I guess we'll never see it.
Yeah, well, she said she's going to tell her the truth about everything, so we'll see what happens. She
Will
did
we?
seem, I guess not. Well, like I said, they might do the comics thing like they did with Arrowverse. So
Perhaps. We'll see. Um, and then, at some point we see Courtney standing out front of the McKent house, and her and Cameron reunite because that man can't stay away no matter how much he wants to hate her.
it starts snowing, and I'm like, oh, well, yeah, he's there then, of course.
Right. I had to ask myself, I was like, is it winter in their time?
No.
It like matches, it's the middle of spring.
Yeah, I think like the school year has supposed to have just started or something like that.
Oh, okay. So it's like the beginning of fall.
Yeah.
And then we see 3 years later, Jordan is tracked down by Artemis, who gets
3
her
months.
retribution. 3 months, my bad.
But yeah, Artemis tracks him down and kills him with Vaseline.
Essentially, yeah. Make sure he won't come back this time because it burns water too.
Yeah, yeah.
So does he evaporate?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I just know she rubbed Vaseline all over the ground and lit it on fire.
Do you know how much Vaseline that probably was?
It's about that big old industrial thing.
Yeah, she had to get like a big old tub of like an industrial tub of it.
Yeah, that one you can see. I think you can order those on Amazon. Big barrels and shit.
Yeah, like the crime scene ones.
yeah. Is that Vaseline? No, that's lube that comes in those.
Either one.
Yeah, I'm sure they can make Vaseline in that too.
The big plastic tub thing.
Yeah.
We're talking about the same thing. What people use it for, I don't really think makes a difference.
Yeah.
And then it goes 10 years from now.
Mm-hmm.
And the Shade is alive and well.
Yeah, and leading this tour.
Giving a tour of the Museum of the JSA, I guess.
I guess that's what it is.
It's just some museum. I don't know what it was, but it had the JSA table and a little hall for them.
Mm-hmm.
And we have, Courtney now goes by Star Woman, Wildcat, Jade and her brother Obsidian, Dragon Queen Cindy, Stripe 2.0, which
I'm guessing is Mike.
Yeah, I was unclear if it was going to be Pat or Mike, but I guess 10 years later, that would make Pat slightly older and probably a little bit
10 years older, exactly.
Tired.
Mm-hmm.
So probably pass over to Mike, which makes sense because Jakeem is there.
Mm-hmm.
Icicle,
Jakeem Thunder. Yeah.
Jakeem Thunder, Icicle, Cameron, Artemis as Artemis. Sand, Dad, and Damage, who I don't know who that is either. And then they said Our Man and Dr. Midnight were still there and they were getting married.
And Shade is officiating the ceremony.
Yeah. And then he talks about their accomplishments, like bringing back Sylvester, rescuing 7 soldiers of victory, which I'm sure they will touch on whatever they do that in whatever universe property they decide to do next. And they brought them back from the Nebula Man. And so I could only imagine at some point during one of these other shows, we'll eventually hear about someone called the Nebula Man. And my money is on Doom Patrol.
That sounds like a Doom Patrol villain. Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, Jay Garrick Flash shows up.
And breaks the table.
Yeah. Like,
rude.
Who gonna fix that? And says that the JSA is needed. So, and then goes off and says, never the end.
The 7 Soldiers of Victory, also known as Law's Legionnaires, is a team of fictional comic book superheroes in the DC Comics universe. They first appeared in Leading Comics #1, winter of 1941. They were created by more blah, blah, blah. The team was a short-lived assembly of some of the less famous heroes in the DC universe who have made occasional appearances since their Golden Age debut. See who's in there. See the members. So pre-crisis, we had Crimson Avenger, Star Spangled Kid, Stripesy. So I guess that's Starman, and this is the original team.
Mm.
Because he had Pat Dugan, Vigilante, Shining Knight, Green Arrow, Speedy, and then post-crisis first team was Crimson Avenger, Star Spangled Kid, Stripesy, Vigilante, Stuff the Chinatown Kid.
That sounds crazy.
Yeah, incredibly racist. Shining Knight, TNT, Dynamite, the Spider, Wing, the Squire, and later becomes the Knight. And then post crisis second team was Batgirl, Black Hawk, Metamorpho, Mento, Deadman, Adam Strange, and Shining Knight. But yeah,
Huh.
it was a whole thing that was a very short lived thing, but somehow had all those things.
Ah,
But yeah,
okay.
that was the end of Stargirl. So what do you think? Any final thoughts on Stargirl before we move on? Stargirl as a series, as a whole, as a season?
Uh, I don't know. I've been trying to figure out which Earths we've been looking at because I mean we know that like Stargirl is on another Earth from the Flash and Superman and Lois. So I've been trying to figure it out, and so I've been just trying to figure out where the story will go from here because like what will they do next? But because also trying to figure out like where and connect where they will connect with these other things because you know I just want to see what this is supposed to go.
Yes, I know
So
you live for the crossover. So
I do.
yeah, I mean, for me, I'd say the show itself it picked up. Remember when we first started watching, we were pretty high on it because it was something fresh, something fun. But then it stopped being fun.
Yeah, that last
Like,
season was a hot mess.
yeah, like it just stopped being fun.
Cause yeah, like
The
the first
bots are
season,
back.
yeah, they are. It's okay. Um, it started off fresh. It was something different. The story was something different, even though it was kind of like really teen superhero-y,
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to some of the other ones we were kind of getting used to. But
But that made it interesting. It was a different
mm-hmm.
kind of show. Problem
Yeah,
was, like I said, they forgot to be fun.
yeah. And then on top of that, like it was starting to create a mess within trying to create a shared universe, but then not creating a shared universe. So
Well, that's something that will bother you more than bother me because I, I I don't care as much about the crossovers as you do. So it's
I
just,
know. I just like for them to make sense. If they gonna start cohesive, then keep them cohesive. But
well, they
then
never said it was cohesive though. That's the thing. They
no,
never
I
said
know.
Stargirl was part of it. They showed it as being a different Earth when they did Crisis.
No, I know. I was just saying, like, I mean that's just with all the DC shows as a whole. That was me just talking that as a whole. It was just kind of yes, that's what made it different from all of them.
Okay. Well, that's it for Stargirl. We will close that chapter and we'll open another one here. We'll start with part four, season four, that is. Kind of like Star Wars did. We're going to start with part four.
Well, it
Do
won't be the first time we've started on a show like partway through. I mean, we did start Titans the same way.
Yeah. We're doing it Star Wars style. So, Doom Patrol, season four premiere,
They did
episode
it
one.
again. Gave us two.
Yeah, they did. So, episode 1. What was it called?
Doom Patrol.
Because they finally gave them the name in the show. Because throughout the whole thing, they didn't have a name of the show, and the only one that was like had their code name like Cyborg was Cyborg. All the
Hmm.
rest of them are still being called by their normal name. But anyway, this episode kicks off in the future. And it starts off, we got somebody looking with a metal detector for something, and person finds a watch and throws the watch away. Still not sure what the hell he was looking for, but it was Cyborg. It
Right.
was Vic.
And he has more stuff on again.
Come to find out that was just a helmet, though.
Yeah. Stuff that he created,
Right.
not like wrapped in his body type, like intertwined like
Hmm.
before.
Yeah. So there's that. But back in the present though, we got Dr. H who's now primary for K. Um
Also, if you guys haven't watched Doom Patrol seasons 1 through 3, this is probably a huge spoiler. So this would be your last chance to pause this, go catch the fuck up, and then come back and hit play.
yeah. But also,
Yeah,
yeah, huge spoilers, but it's going to make absolutely zero sense to you anyway. So, yeah,
this is
cuz
true. But if you
this
don't know who any of these people are, what we're talking about, this is your chance to go find
yeah, yeah.
out. That's more what I mean.
I hear you. So, yeah, she's like Dr. H is narrating everything, and I guess she's
She's
like doing logs and all that.
she's taking notes and
Yeah.
diagnosing everyone.
Yeah. Right now, Rita's in charge. She has given everybody their code names. Cliff is Robot Man. Um, Kay or Jane is Crazy Jane. Larry is Negative Man. Vic is Cyborg, of course. And then Madame Rouge is Dog Shit McGivens, which, okay.
She's just gonna
And,
be forever angry at her. So
well, yeah, yeah. I mean, justifiable. But,
yes,
and then Rita is Woman. So apparently they've been using the time machine to get places quickly. They use the robot's brain to control it, and apparently they're able to counteract the memory loss thing with jellyfish. Nobody has really explained how that works, but
I'm
that's what
gonna
we're going
assume
with.
something with the electricity.
Sure, sure. I don't. I don't think jellyfish use actual electricity.
So
I don't know. I could be wrong. I think. Are you thinking of eels?
I mean, I could be. I mean, I know eels, electric eels, have actual electricity. I was
I don't know. But anyway, they're like trying to stop this bank robbery, and Rita tells Cliff to do something, and Cliff won't do it because she's called him Robot Man because he's not responding unless she calls him Cliffosaurus. Which I'm just like, you know what? I get it. You be called what you want to be called. All right. It's almost like when we do these episodes and these podcasts and someone else is hosting and they don't go through all my names properly. I'll just sit there, just like Cliff just sat there until you address me properly. I get it.
jellyfish do not use electric shock.
Okay. Maybe it's just the gooiness of them or something. I don't know.
No, they have like these photon. These no. It's some kind of um. They have this green fluorescent protein that gives jellyfish their glow when it reacts to like UV light and it excites the electrons in them.
Mm, got it.
Mm-hmm.
So somehow that stops memory loss. Got it. Okay.
Yep.
Yep, that's what we'll go with. That's what we're. Yep. Okay.
That's what Google has told us.
hmm So back to Vic on the sideline though. He's upset because he don't like just being the IT guy. He tries to
I mean,
talk
would you?
himself up though. Probably not.
Mm.
But yeah, this team is a fucking mess. Like just watching them try to stop this bank robbery is just insane.
You
Um,
you know what I noticed like watching the show because like I binged through season 1 through 3 through most of I want to say most of October into November. Oh
hmm
no, the end of October into November. Um, it gives me very much Umbrella
Yeah.
Academy feeling, where
hmm
it's like they do something, they save it all, and then something else is following right afterwards.
Difference is well, not even a difference, but also they probably caused it.
Yeah, and it's usually caused by them saving it the first time or
hmm
doing something the first time. So it was giving me very that, which is also kind of refreshing because I like Umbrella Academy. So
Yeah, yeah. It's like Umbrella Academy, just a lot weirder. Um,
yes.
but yeah, Vic is on the sidelines doing IT stuff with his laptop, and he runs into, I guess, the villain's IT guy. And
He has a butt cannon.
yes, he has a cannon in his ass.
The villain's name is Codpiece, which I didn't really fully understand.
I have no idea. It's probably some kind of dick joke.
I'm sure it is because his gun was over where his dick would be.
Yeah,
Um, but it was shooting lasers, so I didn't really understand it fully.
yeah. As opposed to old dude on My Hero Academia who has a laser belly button. This dude has a dick laser. So
Hmm.
yeah,
It's
or
a huge one too, so he's
at
probably
least
overcompensating.
yeah, about to say or a dick laser cannon. It's probably not his actual dick that shoots the laser. But yeah. Also, Madame Rouge refuses to use the jellyfish because she wants to lose those memories for a little bit, gives her a brief respite, but the memories always return anyway. So she gets a little bit of time that she's not like racked by guilt.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah. Then we got, see,
They fit they fixed Cliff's arm after it was lost in the giant testicle incident that happened at the end of season 3.
right. Oh, yeah, yeah.
And they
My
gave
notes are just so it's hard for me to follow through the show. But yeah, I
it's
got you.
okay.
Yeah.
Um, and they give him the sense of touch in one finger with nanites that they hope to see spread and give him the sense of touch in his hand.
hmm I mean, he's like, I want the first thing that I touch to be my grandson.
And so he's like, let's go to Florida to see my grandbaby Rory.
hmm
And Rita reluctantly agrees to go. And then it turns into a shit show.
Yeah, because as they're traveling, they run into somebody who's just fell into the time stream, and
Isabel Feathers,
yeah, her.
the girl
I
from season who played Rita in that play from season 2.
thought that was three.
Was it 3?
I don't. No, you're
No, the
right.
play was
You're
season
right.
2.
Right. That was season two. Season three, she was in the past, so couldn't have been there. You're right.
And then uh, the ship takes a hard landing, and the team land in the future time that we saw in the beginning. And the ship is like overheated, so they can't jump again currently.
Yeah. So they gotta wait. And they get caught in Cyborg's trap. That was Skittles and Vienna sausages.
Because he knows them.
Yeah. It worked. And so Future Cyborg tells them about the butt apocalypse.
They're in 2042.
Yeah, zombie butts. That's
Zombie butt apocalypse.
yeah. That's what the big threat is. Zombie butts.
I feel like no matter what, I feel like every time I feel like we leave the ant farm, they find some way to bring all that shit back up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Hello,
What's up, Justin? I'm assuming this is Justin. Get your has
whoever it
multiple.
is that they're here for the zombie booty.
You watch June Patrol, Justin? But let's see. Yeah, so everybody except Vic is dead. They're all ghosts. Um, except Rouge. Madame Rouge is missing. You don't know where she at.
Because apparently she left right before everything started.
Right. Um, also, Cliff, when he meets his dead self, finds out he never gets to touch his grandson, which that sucks. Um, that's what I thought. Okay, making sure. Yeah. Also, Larry meets Future Larry, and Future Keith is separated from Future Larry, and Present Keith has a convo with Future Keith, and now Present Keith is all upset. Um, let's see, Future Rita is
Because
just. I'm sorry, go ahead.
because he knows that Larry, um, because Larry gonna do or say some dumb shit. He can be like, you know what, fuck this.
Yeah. Um, let's see, Future Rita basically tells Present Rita like we're shitty leaders, so it's all connected. But Rita refuses to believe it, of course. Um,
She worse than the election deniers in this episode.
hmm Future K is, going off because Dr. H, you know, she's like, you blew it. Like, clearly you didn't protect us like you were supposed to. So there we go.
It's like you so
Um,
concerned about your freedom.
basically. Let's see. Is that all? Yeah, that was it. So, hmm?
Rouge goes exploring and she finds Vic tied up.
Oh, yeah, yeah, because Future Vic is going to take the time machine.
And then we
Please
find
play
out
it.
that he had a plan with the ghost that they were going to take the time ship. And Dr. Harrison even suggested maybe we see if they, figure it out. And they all laughed.
Yeah, yeah. Because they know better. Which
Not even
I
they
get it.
have faith in themselves. Yeah,
Yeah.
they know
I mean, who would
themselves.
know? Yeah, who would know better than them? And yeah, so they try to stop Vic from taking the time machine. And while they're in the middle of that, there's a zombie butt attack. So yeah, the zombie butts attack. That doesn't end well for Future Vic. He dies. And he carves something on the side of the machine as a message to present day Vic,
That he
saying,
can't have it all.
yeah, you can't have it all. Uh, let's see. Keith won't
Jane
tell
tells,
Larry anything. She's all fucked
oh
up.
yeah,
Jane, what?
Jane tells Dr. H she's going back up because that was some bullshit.
Yeah, basically, like, dude, you clearly can't do this. So
And
move
then
out the way. I got this.
she dusts away
And
to
Kay is there. Yeah.
find. And I was just like, so does this mean that Kay was pretending to be Dr. H this whole time? Or did she just turn her into dust stone? And so now she's
No,
gone?
I see it
Or,
like how the agents are in the Matrix. Like all of them are still K. They're all like personalities to help K, so she can just take over where they are at any point. She can just like go into them, and all of a sudden that's K now, and that person no longer exists.
mm,
You know how in the Matrix when they were like running from people and all that, and all of a sudden the person would turn into an agent.
yeah.
Yeah. I picture it the same way
Okay.
because essentially they are all K. So it's just,
Yeah. Okay. Makes sense.
but yeah. So Jane is primary again because Doctor H ain't
And
shit.
she wakes up suddenly with puzzle pieces.
Yeah, all the same piece, which we see later.
Like
Also,
no
Cliff,
edges, no corners, no
yeah,
matches,
yeah.
just pieces.
Cliff was like, "Yo, I'm not touching anything until I touch my grandson." Um, he refuses. He's got that oven mitt on, and they're like, "Yo, technically you're touching that oven mitt," and he's like, "That doesn't count."
Whatever.
Yeah. Um,
Uh,
the Bureau of
Rouge tells
Normalcy.
Rita.
Go ahead. You said Rouge. What?
I was like, Rouge tells Rita she's not leaving, which stresses Rita out.
Oh yeah, and then face just yeah. But yeah, the Bureau of Normalcy, starts doing their normal Bureau of Normalcy creepy talking shit. And like, yeah, we got this picture here, and on that picture is this thing where they're saying Immortus will rise.
Is that the
Which
Bureau of Normalcy because it was something with Bunbury, the bunny?
I thought that was, I don't know. Nah, I'm confused.
Yeah,
I
I
could be
didn't
on.
know who they were. They were just some group of men in cloaks around the bunny. Um,
We had seen them
I just
before.
Yeah, but I thought that
I
was
thought
something
they were the ones.
magical, not.
Well, I thought they ran the Bureau of Normalcy though. Like, I don't know.
I don't
Maybe.
really. Okay, that's the Knights Templar.
Oh, that's who that's supposed to be. Okay. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
And now that you mentioned it, not seeing what they were wearing, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of mixing in real world shit. Okay, gotcha. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that was the end of episode 1. So let's get into episode 2, shall we?
Yes, Butt Patrol.
Yeah. So this episode kicks off with what looks like somebody doing like bomb diffusion training or something, but nope,
That was a mess.
it's dude in the room with the killer butts. And yeah, they definitely get him. He's dead. That's the end. It's in 2017 that this is happening.
No, 2016.
Oh, I thought it was 17.
Nope, 2017 is when Margaret Yu comes in, the doctor lady.
Oh, right. You're right. You're right. Let's see. So yeah, back in the present, they're having a meeting, and I guess Rita has a solution, and her solution is to do everything opposite because that makes
Mm.
sense. So she's like, as you can all notice, you see, I'm wearing flats instead of heels, but I can still make myself tall because I can elongate. It's just
and
like,
she
okay,
and she does a prime example of it.
yeah. But then they're all like, nah, we need a change in leadership. And they vote her out. And like, they want
She
Rouge.
took that. She took it very personally. They made a crisis reference. They said "crisis of infinite ass,"
Yeah.
and
Jane said that one. Yeah. A whole lot
I
of
was like,
butt smoke.
hysterical.
Yeah. Let's see. So yeah, they go to Rouge. Rita's pissed about that, you know, for one, understandably, but also she was going to
Get
throw a
over
fit no matter
yourself.
what charge, though,
Yeah.
because she just couldn't imagine anybody would want anyone besides her in charge. Like, well, Vic, you don't have your powers. Larry's not competent enough or whatever. Jane doesn't want it. And I forgot what she said about Cliff, but yeah.
Was also not competent.
Yeah, essentially. Um, so yeah, they decide they're going after Darren Jones. So they figure they stop and kill him. That's the end of the butt apocalypse. They're wrong, but that's what they.
Very wrong.
Yeah. And
Back
then
in so
I
she
was going to say
so
Rita
Rouge,
doesn't want to go because she's being a brat about not being leader. But what?
yes. And then I was gonna say she tells them all to take a chill pill first, and then sends Cliff on the secret mission to kill Darren Jones on his own or on
Well,
their
she went
own.
with him. Yeah.
Yeah. And
All
then
right.
it flashes over to 2017.
Yeah. Back at the ant farm. It's the anthropologist lady is there. What's her
Margaret
name?
Margaret Yu.
Margaret who?
You.
You?
You.
Me?
No, you.
That's what I said. Me.
No. Her last name is you.
Her last name is me?
No, her last name is you.
Me?
No.
Who?
You.
Me?
You.
Me?
No. You.
I don't know who you're talking about. Anyway.
I think that was clear enough.
Oh man. Anyway, she's brought in to deal with the killer butts. I'm glad he understood the reference though. But
I knew it was from something. I couldn't remember what.
anyway, yeah, she's in to try to communicate with the killer butts. Then back with in the present, Jane's got this puzzle. We talked about that earlier. All the pieces look the same. There's no edges, no corners, or nothing. She's just like, "What the
No
fuck?"
matches.
Yeah, just yeah, terrible.
What a horrible
Um,
puzzle. And I love puzzles.
yeah. So then we got Rouge and Cliff. They're going off without the rest of the team, of course. Vic is getting ready to go because he knows where there's another zombie butt, so he got to take care of that. And he takes Jane with him.
Mm-hmm.
We got Rouge and Cliff. They're riding bikes, and they come across this, classic car. And Cliff starts talking about how great this car is, and it's just
Is a
can't
master
match the
cheeks.
cheeks. Um, Cliff just going on about this car, and Rouge thinks he's talking in metaphors, but he's literally just talking about the car.
Yeah, he's just like, no, this car is actually a piece of work.
Yeah. And then we go, back to the ant farm, and yeah,
Back at the ant farm, she gets the butts to sing Shapoopy.
shapoopy, shapoopy, shapoopy. And that's one of those
And
songs I'm like,
after
never thought I'd hear it again, but I did.
yeah, like or in another show at that. Like I heard
Hmm.
it once on Family Guy and I was like, that's the only
Hmm.
place I feel like I'd ever hear this. To then hear it somewhere else with butts.
Yeah, I randomly heard it once before Family Guy, and then I heard it on Family Guy. I'm like, even hearing it then, I was just like, this is so random that I would hear this song. Like, it's just.
Mhm.
And even after that, I was just like, yep, I'll never hear that again. And then here comes Doom Patrol like 20 years later.
Like, yeah, here you go.
Let's see. Then we got Vic and Jane. They're just sitting on the bench waiting on the zombie butt guy or the butt hunter. Um,
Yeah, the same dude as the beard hunter
yeah, yeah.
from previous seasons. I was just like, did they change something that now instead of beards, he's a butt hunter? Or is this just another guy in the world?
Maybe his specialty changes.
But then wouldn't he recognize them?
Valid.
He did have he did have Vic's beard before. That's why I was just like, is this a new character and they're just using the same guy because it would be hilarious to have another hunter of another weird part of your body? Or did they change something at some point while tinkering in the past, and now he's a beard hunter.
I mean, now he's a butt hunter.
Yeah, butt hunter. Well, not them. Did Rita, I should say.
Yeah. I don't know. I think now that you mentioned it, because in my head it just made sense that it was the same dude. But now I'm thinking like, okay, you're right. Maybe they wiped his memory or some shit and for him to hunt butts now. I don't know.
Because I know at some point he was on Danny as well. So he was with that crowd. He was with that crowd. So it was like, when did he come back, and when did he change into butt hunter?
Yeah. And also, I don't know. Never mind. Um, yeah, if we
Remember,
keep
Rita
going
went
there,
back. Yeah, we're gonna go on some like rabbit hole on the time, because Rita went back in time and she had a whole life
she did.
that was not originally there.
Yeah. So, um,
Just something to
Rouge
think
and
about.
Cliff, yeah, Rouge and Cliff get to the farm. They find Darren Jones there in zombie form. Cliff kills him. Dude didn't even really put up a fight. He just said, "Kill me." Um,
He didn't want to do a mercy killing, but then he like comes at him and he squishes his brain in, and Rouge starts remembering some of her shit from her past life as Laura DeMille.
yeah, and his mitt comes off, so he feels it, and he was just like, "Oh no!" Yeah.
Yeah, now your hand's been soiled by blood before you've gotten to
Zombie
touch your
blood.
grandbaby, right? Not even clean blood.
Yeah, I would think
And
that's the
then you're
worst
gonna
kind of blood.
and then you're gonna touch your grandbaby with that hand, or attempt to.
About to say, according to what happened, he does not. So,
Yeah, does not and
um,
probably should not.
so yeah, then Vic and Jane, meet with Zombie Butt Dude. We talked about that. He has a zombie butt. He gives it to him. We talked about that whole
They
combo.
take the butt. He gives them the zombie butt that he found.
Yeah. Uh, best thing though is Vic being real proud of himself. Like I pushed the meeting with the bureau back an hour, but the dude showed up 45 minutes late, so they really didn't have that much time. Even though he thought he did so well with the planning, but he really didn't.
Yeah, he really was like, yeah, I moved up our meeting 45 an hour, so we'd have time. And then Jane said, but he was late,
Yeah,
so we gotta move. And that shit was apparently heavy.
but they got out with it. So
Yeah, because Flick came in clutch real quick.
real quick.
And then Butt Hunter also realized he was scammed.
Yeah, a little too late. Then let's see, we're back in
Well,
2017. Butts are on the loose.
yeah, she's at work and they're just like, we have to go. The exterminators are coming.
Yeah, Cliff
Yep.
is in there. We saw Cliff in there fighting the butts.
And
Um,
so, and then she just goes home like any regular old day
apparently, she brought
to her
Nicholas with
butt.
her though.
Right. She found her, but oh no, that was present day.
That was,
Um,
yeah, she brought the butt
yeah,
home
she,
though that day.
yeah,
But yeah, back in the present though, they brought the zombie butt back to the house. Um,
Cliff has a moment with it,
yeah, yeah. After Rose tells him to kill it, and he has his whole thing going on, like
which makes me think, are you not going to kill it?
the zombie butt apocalypse happens somehow
I know.
because they can't tease us with that and then not give us zombie butts. Like it's gonna happen.
Because he's going to
Um,
convince him that this butt is different. He can change him.
yeah. Vic gets a
It's
response from Derek. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I was like, it's probably the twin brother of the butts that Dr. Yu was talking about that said that they were like related. Like the one
Maybe.
that they have. the one that they have, and then the one that Doctor You have. Wasn't Nicholas part of like the duo?
One that they were
So
connected and separated them.
yeah, when they were tap dancing together and such, it was
Mhm.
Nicholas and
I forgot the other name.
yeah, it's whatever. But yeah, how much want to bet it's them? And then they're gonna be like, we have to bring them together.
Probably. So
Sorry,
then,
keep going.
no, it's okay. So earlier in the episode, Vic had reached out to, I guess, an old friend, Derek.
Derek. And
Yeah,
Derek got back to him.
yeah. So we can meet up. So we'll see what happens with that.
They can be friends again. Yay.
Yeah. And then let's see. Then Jane actually sits and listens to Kay's recording, and apparently Kay's like, I want all the personalities to find their own purpose outside of protecting me because they think that's all they're good for. Um, Jane's all confused about that. Like, well, what is my purpose if it's not to protect you? Like, what the fuck?
And
That also
that's what Kay's
explains part of
saying.
why Kay's disappeared. She's just like, don't try to find me. And I think that's her whole thing is don't be
Do
around me
you?
until you figure out who you are. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, and then it
Probably
ends with the
just
thing
yeah.
that you were talking about earlier, with Doc coming home.
Present day, Dr.
Yeah.
Yu goes home and has um her little butt at home
Eating
and
cereal
just chills. Yeah, eats cereal.
and sings.
Yep. Weren't they still singing Shapoopy or something like that?
No, that was something else they were singing. I forgot what it was, but it wasn't Shapoopy.
Mm, okay.
But yeah, that was the first two episodes of Doom Patrol season 4. Mara, who's winning this week?
Um, I would say Stargirl.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, there are a lot of people on that show you could choose. I personally am
I'm yeah,
choosing.
I was gonna say the JSA, but I was like, well, maybe that's not someone. So
Yeah. I'm personally going to go with Beth's parents because I feel like no one was happier than they were.
you're right.
So yeah, that's what I'm going with there. Who's losing?
Um, Jordan McKent.
Solid choice. Solid choice. Yeah,
I mean, he did. So
he is. He is. But technically, so is the entire Doom Patrol. Um,
yeah, but they have chances to undo it. Jordan doesn't.
true. True.
He is very dead and gone.
You're right. You're right. So yeah, yeah, you're right. I'm gonna go with Jordan on that one.
That's the way Artemis wanted it to be. She was like, they ain't coming back this time, bitch.
Yeah, that is the end for you. But all right. Guess that'll be it for this week's episode of Creatia Comics. See, I said it right this time.
There we go.
Do not forget you can find us on both Twitter and Instagram at It's Creation World. That is at ITSCREATIA World. As always, I'm not telling you how to spell world. If you don't know how to spell it, get a goddamn dictionary. Also, you can
Or
find us on
watch the
Facebook.
video version.
Yeah, that too. You should do that anyway. You can see it right there. You can also find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Creation World. Now, on Facebook, this particular podcast has a Facebook group. Mara, what's that Facebook group?
Facebook.com/groups/Creatia Comics.
Cool. Also, if you're a wrestling fan, do not forget to check out Smacking It Raw each and every week with the Ward Matt Ritter and Vince Daddy Delgado. They have their own Facebook group as well, facebook.com/group/Smacking It Raw. Um, Yeah. Also, just thank you anybody who's watching us live. We appreciate that. Live on page, not on Patreon, on Twitch, twitch.tv/Creatia World. Also, subscribe there if you can. Really appreciate that. You can do it for free if you have Amazon Prime. Um, but yeah. Also consider subscribing to the Patreon. That's good too. Get a lot of extra goodies there. But yeah, I think that'll be it for this week's episode, Mar.
Cool.
Well, you can find me on both Twitter and Instagram at Lord_Cussalott. That is at LORD_CUSSALOTT. Mar, where can they find you?
Instagram and Twitter at Mara the Shark, MARADASHARK.
Yeah, my bad. All right. That'll be it. We'll catch y'all next time. Until then, we out.
Bye.